Hello and welcome to a new edition of Design for the Times. I'm very pleased to have two wonderful guests with me today in studio. They are with Wolf Subzero, and first I have to the left of me, I have Kimberly Little.
Yes.
Welcome to our show.
Thank you.
And I have the wonderful
Ooh.
Anne-Marie Suhu. We love that name. Anne-Marie Suhu, who is the executive chef. She's the chef. And we're going to talk about what they do, which I think is quite interesting. When I got into this industry 21 years ago, I didn't know there was something called perks. And perks are when you work in the industry, some of the wonderful brands bring you in and they take care of you because they want to teach you about their products and they want you to promote their products. And I think as an interior decorator with Maven Hill Designs in its 21st year, it is incumbent for me to constantly be educating myself, constantly looking at kitchens, constantly be looking at what's different, the technology, how we do things, how they look, how they work better, because people are seeking out my advice to get the best choices. And let's face it, doing a kitchen is probably the most expensive room you're going to do in your house. It is an investment. It's something that you're probably going to live with for a long time, or somebody else is going to live with for a long time. So let's talk a little bit about the brand, about Subzero. Now, I know it was a family-owned business. It's still a family-owned business? Tell us a little bit about Subzero.
It's a huge corporation, but it's very much run like a family business. The grandson of the inventor of the Subzero runs the company today.
Okay. Yes, and some of the advertising, they actually show the lineage of the grandfather, the father, and the grandson.
Yeah,
so it's third generation?
Correct. And they treat their employees very well. So you do definitely feel that you work for a family.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
Rare these days, actually, huh?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's nice to say you like your job.
So I understand that the headquarters of Subzero is in Wisconsin.
Madison, Wisconsin.
Madison, Wisconsin. Is that where the family's from, I guess?
I believe so, yes.
Sure. And do you have anything out also, does Subzero have anything out in California?
No,
Just
Arizona.
Wisconsin. Oh,
Arizona.
I knew there was something west as well.
Before we acquired Wolf, the Wolf Range Company is in California.
Oh,
And
that's the California
correct.
connection.
We purchased Subzero purchased the home division or the residential appliance division of the Wolf Range Company.
Sure.
Back in 2000.
Oh, 2000, so not
2000.
long ago. I do think that there's a slight disconnect brand-wise between Wolf, Subzero. Both very good companies, but often when I tell people I'd like to do a suite of appliances, which I often like to do, and I say very much like Wolf, let's do Subzero Wolf, and they're like, well, doesn't Wolf make a refrigerator? I don't think there's that sort of brand, no, there's a brand recognition with each, but there's not sort of a combined brand
People don't
recognition.
recognize it as being
Do
together.
you guys find that as well?
Sometimes people don't even know the difference between, they think Subzero, like you said, does
Right.
the oven and Wolf does the refrigeration. I think most people, for most part, do recognize it as
Sure.
a family. And now with the launch of our new dishwasher, Cove,
That's
we really
interesting.
have the family.
The upscale dishwasher. I'm a big fan of like quiet dishwashers, so we'll end with that today. But so let's talk a little bit about what you guys do, which is kind of interesting and different. So great company, family owned. Let's talk about your location and what you guys do to promote sales of both Wolf and Subzero.
I predominantly work with the trade. We have a showroom which has one of everything, which is in Pine Brook, New Jersey.
Sure.
Most of our job is to educate the Subzero Wolf client or the potential Subzero Wolf client. Anne-Marie cooks. So not
Boy,
only,
is that what is that an understatement?
Talk
You
about a
really
perk.
You're treated like gold. Some questions that I have for you guys about this facility, which is a big facility. I think
Yes.
it's on Riverside
Drive.
in
25
Pine Brook, New
Riverside Drive.
Jersey. And I guess my first question to you is this something, because Subzero Wolf is a national and international company, do they have these centers of entertaining and education throughout the country, or just
country.
in certain populated areas?
We do, and actually it's one of the rare things in the luxury appliance market to have this. We have probably 20 of our own Subzero owned showrooms around
Oh, I
the
didn't
country.
realize that.
We do. We're just opened a brand new one in Miami last week or the week before,
Isn't
right
that
down in the
wonderful?
design district. Yes, we all just keep saying we should be sent down there to, for a training of some kind.
Oh, yeah.
So we have 20 that we own, and then
Okay.
there are other showrooms that our affiliates own that are dedicated to Subzero Wolf. So probably around the country, I don't know the exact number. We probably have 30 that are just
Wow.
dedicated. We don't sell anything in the showrooms, so
Sure.
they are just part of the luxury brand experience of coming into Subzero
So
Wolf.
I would maybe sort of say it as sort of education centers, because I really think that I've learned so much about appliances. Not even just your appliances, of course, specific to your appliances, but what's going on in the industry. What are people looking for? What's out there? My question to you is, are these centers, and is there only one in New Jersey?
Yes, Pine
So
Brook is
the
only-
Pine Brook Center in New Jersey, I'm trying to think of towns that would be Parsippany, Montville, towns
Wayne.
that Wayne, that are around it. So these centers, are they only open to the trade, that is kitchen designers, interior designers, and contractors, or are they open to the public?
It's open to the public.
See, that I wasn't aware of.
Yeah, anybody that's interested in Subzero Wolf, wants an education on it, is welcome to come and visit our showroom
Sure.
Monday through Friday. They're also open every third Saturday, I believe.
Wow.
And they can meet with a consultant. And
Right on site.
Yep, and they can walk them through the entire line.
Oh, isn't that great? And get
Yeah.
an education. I think that
Yes.
was terrific. I think when you go to buy a suite of appliances and you're doing a kitchen, unless you're trained like Anne-Marie, who's a CIA graduate, it's kind of confusing, don't you think?
Oh, it's overwhelming.
I
Without
think-
a doubt.
And I think people are often wondering, stainless steel sort of can vary in color a little bit. I think they're more worried about the finishes than they are the functionality of the appliances.
Half and half.
You
We
think
get
half and half?
we get half of the people who come in who are looking to design purely design.
Sure.
Then we get the people who come in who have saved every penny for the past 15 years.
And this is their
Just
dream kitchen.
This oven is their dream oven. So
Yeah.
they are going to love it and use it, and they don't care what it looks like. They are fitting it in the space. So we probably have both we see in the showroom.
Sure. Interesting. What would you say your percentages of private homeowners coming in as opposed to trade designers and contractors?
I would say it's about 50-50.
Yeah, I'd say 50-50.
I am shocked. I wouldn't think that they would, the general public, well, they will now because we're on television, would know that these things are available to them. Do you think that's perhaps because of the internet and people really research now before they do anything?
And a lot of the retailers that we deal with also know about our showroom.
Oh, so they educate
Correct.
people on that.
So if somebody visits a retail appliance dealer that carries Subzero Wolf
Oh, they might
and they want to
mention it.
see something other than what that dealer has on the floor,
Very smart.
they're told to visit the showroom.
Oh, isn't that great?
Yeah.
Now, I know Carl's in New Jersey certainly very highly recommends your products. Are there other nationwide companies that sort of push it or say that's available?
PC
Yeah,
Richards
PC
is probably one
Richards.
of our largest.
PC
Right.
Richards is
Reno's
a big one.
in
Reno's
Chatterson,
Appliance.
Topline in
Wonderful.
Westfield and Wall.
Okay.
There, if you go to our website
Sure.
and as a consumer put your zip code, it'll automatically pull up the closest retail appliance.
Oh, isn't that
people.
great? So for our viewers of Design for the Times, if they would like to come out to your facility in Pine Brook, New Jersey, and really have a walking tour and one-on-one knowledge of appliances before they purchase, where would they start from? Would they start from going to your website? So, and again, the website is?
www.subzero.com.
And then from the website, how would that sort of trickle down that they could book an appointment?
I think if they do /Pinebrook, I think it will bring them right to ours, and you can scroll down, you can see our calendar of events. I think if
Okay.
they do /Splash Pinebrook, it will bring it right to our specific one.
Okay.
And if they don't, if they just go to the general website,
Sure.
in the upper left-hand corner, if they click on that, it'll give them an option to click on showrooms or where to visit.
Terrific. So there'll be a drop down for where they are in the area.
Correct. I think you put your zip code in, it will take you to the nearest
So
one.
would somebody? So let's say I'm going to do my. I have a client who would have done this if she didn't have a designer. She is very into every surface, every detail. So I would think that this woman, lovely woman, that really is into the minutia of detail, would go online to your site and see that this was available to them. And then when you actually, I guess, call the facility, right?
Correct.
Do you have a specific appointment, or is it just a walkthrough? Do you call as a layperson and say, okay, I'd like to come in, I really want to learn about your new dishwasher, which we'll be talking about. Do they set up an appointment with you, Kimberly, or how does that work? Or do they just do a walkthrough?
We have a
So-
showroom consultant,
Good.
Okay.
Lori,
Lori, okay.
and she
Sure.
takes the appointments.
Okay,
But by all means, if you just drive by,
Right.
we'll never turn you away.
terrific. And often there's really good food there, and sometimes wine. So
There's always wine. You just have to know where to look
Exactly.
for it. There's always wine.
Exactly. And now for the trade, I want to talk a little bit about what you do for the trade, because in addition to selling your products and educating those of us in the trade on products, you also do certain credits. A lot of your, and you have a couple of very big things coming up, right? I don't know if you want to talk about some of the things you have coming up.
Sure. Actually, it's probably too late for your viewers, but tomorrow we have a CEU marathon.
Sure, and talk about what that is, a CEU.
It's a continuing education
Sure.
credit. So anybody that is in the certified kitchen industry that needs to obtain their credits, architects, we do them for free.
Sure.
We try to do them once or twice a month, either in a designer's showroom or in our own showroom. You know, it's educational, and it's not. It's
You've
not
done them
necessar-
off-site?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't realize that. So Anne-Marie, as the chef there, how do you handle cooking if they're done off-site?
We just did one the other day. So
Right.
I was in, where did I go with Sam?
Rogers?
Rogers down in Flemington. So they actually have a live Subzero Wolf display
Sure.
kitchen that you can go in. So I think they had about 20 people come in who wanted to learn all about the steam oven. So I just, prep some of the stuff in Pine Brook, bring it there. But they had a dual fuel range live. They had a CSO live. They had...
And this is so foolish on my part. Everything's already plugged in. I just assumed it was there, but not plugged in.
Only
Okay.
a few retail stores have live
Sure.
areas. Carl's has a live area. Reno's has a live area. The bigger stores tend to have some of their appliances live.
So how is it for you as a professional executive chef cooking outside the studio? Is it challenging? You must have a rhythm, you have timing, you see how the appliances are laid out, which directly relates to what we're talking about, setting up a kitchen design. Is it hard to do that?
It's not really. I mean, if
Okay.
you've done it forever, I come from a catering world, so there is a checklist this long before I go anywhere, so I
Sure.
never do not have every single thing I need
You're organized.
organized.
Exactly.
It's always easier in my showroom.
Very
Yeah.
organized.
So
you have to be when you go off site.
She's a well-oiled machine.
yes, and we're going to talk about some of that stuff and some of the wonderful things you've made for me, for us. That's the thing with this. You feel like you're $1 million when you go there.
Oh, God,
And I
yeah.
think you both are wonderful hosts and making the trade and the general public feel really welcome when you're in your space. First of all, it's a beautiful space. The cabinetry is beautiful. Who built that? Where did that come from? Is there a corporate designer at Subzero Wolf in Wisconsin? How did that space, which was originally, I guess, just a warehouse, space, correct?
Yeah.
So you purchased or have a
We lease.
rental,
Yeah.
lease a big warehouse space. I don't know how many square feet maybe that space is.
Well, our warehouse is there too, like where we ship everything.
But
so it's
your
enormous.
area is enormous.
It's enormous, yeah.
Right.
It
So
is enormous.
in that area, who came in then? Now, so when did you guys go in there? Do you know when the inception of the Pine Brook
You've
showroom?
been there
They
long.
were there probably in about 2002.
Oh,
They
so a very
moved
long
into
time.
that space,
Okay.
and then about 4 years ago, we revamped the entire
Did a
showroom.
refresh, right?
Yeah, they
I mean, down to
redid.
the studs. It
It was
Wow.
completely gutted, and we were the first showroom actually
Yeah.
to hire an outside architect
Sure.
for
Zing,
budget
right.
reasons, just to see how it would run
Right.
with an outside architect. And he came in and brought samples and swatches and put the whole thing together. We kind of helped pick
Yeah,
where we wanted
Mohammed
the
was wonderful.
appliances.
Right.
Um,
Well, the
it
layout
was
is
a
beautiful, but
painstaking process.
the layout is beautiful, but just the way it was set up and the colors and everything. Even though you said you did it a couple of years ago, very current, right? I think probably when
gosh,
it was a
yeah.
little bit ahead of its time, maybe.
Yes.
So a lot of the surfaces are quite beautiful, and they allow somebody to see how beautiful gray cabinetry or what have you would be incorporated with the appliances for an overall sort of kitchen design.
Well, it's funny because after we did design the showroom,
Right.
as people would come in, we would start getting questions about backsplashes and countertops and cabinets. So we had the architect make us like a list
Sure.
of the tile and the name and where what company
And
it
then
was.
when you met me, you threw it away and just go to Maybe
yes.
Design.
Now we just
So let's talk about some of the products and some of the new technology. And I want this to be between the two of you because you certainly explain it very well and set it up, but also you're physically doing the cooking. So I learned a couple things. I want to start actually with the steam cooking because that really impressed me. Now, I do a radio show 2 hours before this, and today's topic was kitchens.
Okay.
And I spent a lot of time on today's show talking about how surprised I was of the end result of steam cooking. So I have some questions, and I'm sure a lot of questions maybe out there, people are wondering about steam cooking. When I think of steam cooking, I think of water, I think of moisture, and I think of a result with something like a protein that would have sort of a wet, unappealing. That sounds terrible, doesn't
No,
it?
like a
But-
steak you cooked in the microwave.
Right,
It
that you,
should look like
you
that.
boiled a steak. So,
Right.
so when I first had you cook something, a beautiful roast, and in the steam cooking, I thought this is going to be, what would you think? Mealy, gray, and rubbery. In fact, it was exactly the opposite. It was almost so that it was zeroed in that the inside had retained the moisture and flavor, but the outside had a wonderful crust on it. And I wonder with the steam cooking how that happens.
Well,
And this is for both of you, by the way.
technically,
Sure.
that slow roast feature does not incorporate any steam. It is just another magic setting that is inside the convection steam oven. The convection
Sure.
steam oven does probably close to 75 different things.
Uh-huh.
In that slow roast setting, what we can either do is sear our meat first in the slow roast, in just this particular
Oh,
setting.
so that's where you get the sear.
That's where you get the
the
sear.
crispness
Correct.
first because you do that
You can
first.
either do it first or second, doesn't
Right.
matter when it comes out.
Mm-hmm.
And in this setting, you set all the machine wants to know is what do you want the internal temperature of your meat to be. So
Okay.
the medium rare piece you had, I cooked to 138 degrees. I put the probe in. The probe and the machine talk to each other.
Wow.
And it gently slow roasts it. So you know when you cut it down the middle, medium rare, but when you cut the two ends off, it was the exact same 138 from end to end. And that is purely the technology of the machine. It has, you can't get that exact result in gas or electric, only the technology of the steam oven.
Wonderful. Now, with the steam oven that you offer from Wolf, is it often just, is it a double wall oven or does it come in?
It is one oven.
It's
so
one single oven.
One single oven,
So
24
you would
inches.
pair that maybe with a non-steam oven? Could you do them as a pair, like on top of each other or side by side?
A double steam oven stack?
Yeah, a stack, or maybe a stack where the top oven is a steam oven and the bottom is not a steam oven.
Correct. That's what we have in our showroom.
And
so
that's
the most,
as I remember, that's how it was set up.
the most popular configuration.
So here's a question actually for both of you as well. The steam oven has, as I remember when I came into your showroom there, it has sort of a reservoir that was at the top, I think, right? And then you fill that with water.
Correct.
And that also works with the convection process, or does the moisture work with the convection process? That's where I'm sort of a little bit curious.
Depending on the setting. So you have 5 premier settings that you will use all the time. You have
Sure.
steam, reheat, convection, convection humid, and convection steam.
Okay.
The only one that does not utilize any steam at all is convection. The
Oh.
convection is dry air, just like your regular
Sure, so it's actually
oven.
kind of the opposite of that, isn't it?
In that particular setting. But
okay.
all the other ones, steam, you can use it at varying temperatures from 85 to 210. When you go into reheat, it reheats it first with steam. The steam is released and then the convection dries out. So you're not eating something soggy, you're reheating it back to the way it was.
There's
Steam-
there's lots of what you just said. So in addition to your preparing a roast, which is saying a roast arbitrarily, the next day when you have leftovers, use the steam oven
to reheat them.
because it's retaining the moisture, right? Oh, amazing.
It is amazing.
Sure.
It is an amazing machine.
So that with the steam oven, I sort of understand. Then you showed us a product where it was sort of just a steaming device unrelated to an oven. There was some sort of a steam thing that you did.
The steamer?
Yeah,
it
the
was
steamer.
built into the counter?
Correct.
That one, okay.
So we're talking about steam at this point. So we have the ability for to do it in the oven.
Correct.
You sear your meat first, and then you have that wonderful moist cooking and the accurate temperature. Let's talk about steaming on the stove.
Okay.
And then you guys did something. I think you said you have that at home.
The induction.
Yes.
I have the induction.
So let's talk about that. Tell us what that's
Induction
about.
it's funny. I would have never purchased induction had I not worked for the company.
company.
And I have that too.
Yeah, and so we're both huge proponents of it because
Sure.
we work there and we've been educated on it.
Sure.
And I think a lot of people are afraid of it because they're
yeah.
uneducated on it.
Sure.
For somebody that does not have the ability to have gas in their house,
Right.
it is the perfect solution.
Sure.
Because it looks like an electric cooktop, but it gives you the control and reaction of gas.
Okay.
So in other words, if your spaghetti is overboiling
Right.
on an electric cooktop, even if
Right.
you turn it down, you have to physically move the pot.
Because it has to
It's
cool
still so
down.
hot.
Exactly.
With induction, when you turn that down, you can automatically see the
Wow.
boil lower.
Okay, so let's talk about induction cooking, which is something that I find very interesting. So if you have an induction cooktop, induction cooking is only on electric, correct?
It runs with electric.
It's only
yes.
on electric. So then your cooktop, in essence, is just
Is an electric cooktop.
Do you ever have it where it's isolated, or could you have maybe a burner or two burners be induction and then have it parallel to another type of cooktop? Do people do that?
Yes.
Okay.
They're modules. They're 15-inch modules.
Okay.
They do them in induction. They do them in gas, the steamer,
Deep fryer,
deep fryer.
teppanyaki grill.
You can kind of set up your own configuration, as you want to call it.
Sure.
So if you wanted a little bit of induction and a little bit of gas and a little bit of steam,
You could do the whole
you
thing.
could, you
the
could
whole
put all
thing.
those modules
You know, and
together.
I think that's why it's very important when you're in an upscale brand like Wolf Subzero, is to take these educational opportunities that are free, and there's good food, and again, sometimes wine, and do that, because really a kitchen should be somewhat customized to the way you live. And someone that has a number of children, as opposed to a single couple that are downsizing, may cook differently, or prepare food differently, or maybe you're vegetarian or so on. The couple that I'm working with in Morristown now have a terrific mid-century modern, and they're vegetarians. So for them, certain things worked better for them. So, you know, I think the customization that you offer with your products is just amazing.
And we really love people that are interested in the product to visit the showroom.
Sure.
The company knows that you're spending a lot of money on the products. They want people to be aware of all the options and benefits. They want people to be able to use all of the individualized settings. They want them to use it to the best of its ability.
Sure.
So we really love when people come to the showroom.
Right. So we talked about steam. We talked about induction. I want to switch. We're about 6 minutes to get all the products lines in. So let's switch a little bit and talk about refrigeration. Guys, what's new in refrigeration?
They introduced the integrated line, which is the new generation of refrigeration.
Okay.
So whereas the compressor used to be on the top, it's now on the bottom.
Oh, neat.
And it's completely seamless. You don't see hinging.
Terrific.
If you put a panel on it, it looks like a cabinet.
Oh, isn't that great? Do you find people are doing that, putting the panels on it anymore, or not seeing it as much? I would say for me, when people ask me to design a kitchen, I'm not seeing the panels that coordinate anymore. I'm seeing they want to see more of an industrial look in just the stainless
It
steel.
depends on the kitchen.
It's true.
If
Yeah.
it's somebody that's going for a more contemporary, sexy, sleek line,
Right.
they're going to go with a panel. They don't want to know it's an appliance.
Oh, interesting.
If it's somebody that's going for that professional, industrial, I work in my kitchen, I
Yes.
use my appliances, they're going to want stainless steel.
Anything out there with either columns, individual columns of refrigeration, or maybe refrigeration drawers?
Both.
Wow.
Yeah, they have columns that run anywhere from 18 inches wide to 36.
I'm seeing that more and more. I like the column refrigeration.
And the drawers are huge now.
oh, the drawers are
Yeah,
great.
the drawers are.
Yeah, it's a space saver.
Oh, yeah. And who wants to open the refrigerator all the time? Especially if you have kids, then, you know, put the
That just wanna drink.
beverages.
Yeah.
Exactly, and it's accessible. So finally, I would like to talk a little bit about dishwashers, and I want to talk about this new, really high-end dishwasher. Now, that so far, the products you've demoed for me, I've had the wonderful food that came from it. But let's actually talk about the new dishwasher. How did this come about, and what's so special about it?
They've
it's called
been
again
Cove,
Cove, C-O-V-E. Okay.
which was chosen because it's a quiet body of water.
Oh, Cove.
So we think it's the quietest dishwasher.
Okay.
It has 23 pounds of insulation
Wow.
to keep it nice and quiet. I've been with the company 12 years. They have literally been working on the dishwasher since I started.
Wow.
They want you to get 20 years out of that dishwasher. There are no screws inside, so there's nowhere for anything to corrode or food to get caught. It's a fabulous machine.
It's all stainless steel inside.
So I was going to say, so the exterior of the dishwasher, I would imagine, is stainless steel.
Or it could be paneled.
Or panels.
Or you can have a panel to go over it. So what you give them is sort of like the accessibility of them bringing in their own panel.
Correct.
You're not selling a panel. It would just be integrated in the cabinetry.
Correct.
Okay. So if you didn't do it, the outside would be stainless steel. The inside is also stainless steel?
Yes.
Okay. And do you find that to be a more durable surface in conjunction with the water?
I'd say yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
I would say yes.
The great thing about the dishwasher is it has 2 independent water filtration systems.
My next question. Okay.
So you're never mixing dirty water with clean water.
Clean water.
Your dishes are constantly being washed in clean water.
Let's talk about the racks. My dishwasher is 13 years old, and there are things that I see now when I come into your showroom of technology and the way that knives go in, and sometimes there's 3 racks, and sometimes it's just so much more thought out the more time that goes by. Talk about the Cove, and talk about maybe how is the inside set up. What are the racks made of? Are they made of a resin or a plastic?
Heavy duty.
So the surround of the inside is
Stainless.
stainless steel, and then the inside is heavy duty.
Heavy gauge, like a resin.
Sure.
Plastic.
And is it 2 tiers or 3 tiers? How's it set up?
3 tiers, and there are, because that is actually the color of it, that green is the new logo color.
Sure.
There are clips in that color on the inside, and every one of them is something you can adjust. So you
Wow.
can take half of one rack and make it higher so it tilts so your bigger plates can
So
go
you really
here.
can customize it to your needs. You know,
Correct.
there's always that Thanksgiving platter that goes in that's too tall.
Yes.
So that's perfect for that. What about cutlery? I'm seeing that a lot of, and not just the Cove, but a lot of dishwashers now do interesting things for cutlery. I'm always told growing up, when I put my dish in the dishwasher, the dish went so on with the other size dishes, but that spoons and forks go up and knives go down. Is that necessarily true?
Not now. Not with all the water spraying through there. I mean, she's the chef.
Not now. Chefs would never put a knife in the dishwasher ever.
I know. I know. How about butter knives? Let's do it now.
We don't put anything knives in the dishwasher.
Sure.
But it doesn't matter. Up or down is fine. The strength of the water of the filtration system is so strong now that it
Sure.
doesn't matter.
What about pre-washing?
Not necessary.
Because of the strength of the dishwasher and the quietness of the dishwasher.
It actually, the dirtier the dish is,
Right.
the better it is, because
Why is
the more
that?
clean it will get.
And that's such a hard concept to.
Yeah.
I want to wash my dish before I put it in there.
And I just think by my nature, I'd probably have a hard time not, because I remember my mom saying, make sure that's clean.
Cleaned
before the
off,
dishwasher." It's like cleaning your house before the cleaning lady
Yes,
comes, or cleaning
exactly.
person comes.
It's true.
We only have about a minute's time left, and I really want to get out a little bit more, any information of how the public can access your wonderful facility. So again, we want to start by going to the website, which
Correct.
again is?
www.subzero.com.
Okay, and then there'll be, Anne-Marie, there'll be like a drop-down for
There's a
area?
drop-down menu.
And there's 30 around the country.
I would say, give or
Okay,
take 30 around
terrific.
the country.
So 30 around the country, you'd pick your area. In New Jersey, this area, it is Pine Brook, New Jersey.
Pine Brook.
That will be a drop-down. And then there'll be a phone number?
There's a phone number there. They can also sign up. I think they can make their appointment now right online. We have a new system.
Oh, you
but
can book the appointment online.
I'm pretty sure you can book it right online, right through
Wow.
Cvent now. You can book
Yes.
it right online.
And it also has a
Terrific.
calendar of our events. We do free product demonstrations.
Come to those. Those are good.
Well, those are really important because when you're in the showroom,
Sure.
seeing those things come to life makes an enormous difference. I can tell you about a steam oven all day, but when you actually see bread and filet mignon and
See
vegetables,
or taste?
both of them, when you actually know that one thing made all these things and they taste like this, you're like,
No,
I
yeah.
have to have that. So
You had me at lemon pasta.
Yes.
You did a pasta or an orzo with lemon, and it was great. Well, listen, we are running out of time. I thank you so much for being guests of my program.
thank you for
Did a
having
great
us.
job. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.